Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition, one of them anyway, of The News. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's fine. I hope everybody's got through their weekend in one piece. I have. Thank you for asking. I've had quite a good weekend, actually. Went to see my mum and dad on Friday, which was lovely, and did a few bits and bobs on Saturday, which needed doing, and was working at AFC Bournemouth on Sunday, which was also very nice. I enjoy working there. I like it there. It's very close to where I live. It's local. It's community-based for me, so I enjoy it there immensely. What I'm not enjoying are the narratives that are being uttered, and I'll come to that in a second. But before I do, I'd like to make a couple of announcements because I think that's very important, and I think I should do that early on in the video, so I shall. First and foremost, there will be a Flat Earth meetup tomorrow at 1900 hours at the Pavilion Arms in Wimborne Road here in Bournemouth. Be there or be exceedingly spherical, in my eyes. I shall be there. I'm looking forward to that. Dave Murphy will be turning up tomorrow to grace us with his presence. So those of you who have never met him or have heard of him or would like to meet him and would like to hear more of him, then do come along. Do come along. It's a lovely place. Off Charminster Road, Wimborne Road, Cemetery Junction, St. Augustine's Church, right that area, right there. Should be enjoyable. Dave has a lot of experience in many fields. Very nice chap. And yeah, well worth coming along if you want to know a little bit more. So that will be tomorrow, 1900 hours, Pavilion Arms. Another announcement I would like to make is something that has now kind of been simmering for a few days. But I thought, well, no, I'm going to announce it actually, because that will also help with, generating a bit of momentum moving forward. So on the 27th of May, Saturday that will be, at around 1300 hours, I'm open for suggestions in terms of time, but certainly the day and the date I'd like to keep. There will be a vigil in Bournemouth Gardens, very similar to the one that was had a few years ago, whereby we went to the gardens to commemorate the people or those who had lost loved ones and all the rest of it. The consequences of the rollout, basically, that go unspoken about, even in phone conversations and stuff like that. I won't go there now, but, I feel that should be done. And demos and stuff, they've run its course. We've made a noise, people have, nationwide. It hasn't been reported on by the press, of course not, further bolstering our knowledge of the fact that the media are absolutely in cahoots with the powers that are. I won't call them the powers that shouldn't be. They are the powers that are because they've been here right from the start. That's how they know how to push these agendas out and watch on as we look helplessly into the air with our thumbs, you know where. So, yes, that will be on the 27th. Anybody who has any ideas or anything, please drop me a line. Please get in touch. I'll leave my contact details in the description below this video if it's on YouTube. And obviously, if you're seeing this video on Facebook or Instagram, then you'll already have an opportunity to DM me if you would like. Those of you who are on our Discord channel who have my contact details, you can DM me on Discord too. I haven't got rid of my account there, even though my Global Eye Lounge Discord channel was taken off me a few years ago by fellow critical thinkers, would you believe? That's right. Like a friend of mine said, just because you're a flat earther or you look into things or you feel yourself spiritual doesn't necessarily make you a good person, does it? There we go. So they were my quick announcements, importantly. Flat Earth meetup tomorrow, and then on the 27th, the vigil in Bournemouth Gardens. There will be flyers going out and a bit more traction will happen over the next couple of weeks, but I thought I'd get it out now a little bit early. I say early, I mean, time is flying, isn't it, really? Let's have it right. So that'd be great. So anybody who could attend or, of course, help a little bit, may have ideas, please do get in touch. Okie dokie. Then I was going to go on a little bit about my previous videos and stuff like that, but I'm not going to go to all of that rigmarole because this isn't all about me. I consider what I do here as a service to you. So that is why I'm going to spare you the ego trip for now. But what I won't spare you with is a bit of information that surrounds the whole WEA thing that happened yesterday. If you remember, they sent signals out here in the UK at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was lots of talk, blah, 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 about what it all meant. Well, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what it all means because you're never going to know. But one thing I can tell you was that when I was at work yesterday at the football club, we had a pre-match briefing, as we always do. And it was quite interesting that the narrative there is upped the ante as well. So now the suggestion is that anybody who does protesting, a bit like what happened here last week at the snooker, there's a World Championship snooker tournament going on in England. And then in one of the games, a guy decided to jump on the snooker table and throw some stuff on it, blah, blah, blah. And it was End Oil. Well, End Oil is not a real agenda, is it? It's just nonsense, right? That's definitely a play from the establishment to get people distracted from the real stuff that we're trying to talk about. A bit like what they did in Bournemouth when we had a demo and they decided to push a Free Palestine and a Black Lives Matter demo simultaneously with ours to A, dilute our demo, and B, keep people distracted. Well, that's what they do. So what happened was I was in the briefing, and in light of all the, and this is the thing, so you have an event like somebody jumping on a snooker table, or like we had the Grand National at Aintree this weekend, and a few people broke in through the barriers, and it was all headline news. You know, you have 1.5 million people going on the streets of London demonstrating. A year and a half ago, 2 years, I was there. Doesn't get mentioned. And yet you have 3 Hooray Henrys running on a race course, and it's all over the bloody news. Well, that tells you it's establishment play. That in itself tells you that, right? So what happens? They do that, a bit like the Emily Pankhurst thing, right? If anybody doesn't know about Emily Pankhurst, look that up. To then justify the narrative that then turn into actual legislation eventually. So, for example, yesterday's briefing, the supervisor who was giving the briefing was talking about how, to prevent potential terrorism by keeping an eye out for protesters. What? So anybody who buys an ice cream, keep an eye out for them because they could potentially be buying coffee too. What's that got to do with it? My feet are in my shoes, but I'm not walking. What the hell's that? So again, you see the tricks that they do. They also know that we're going to go home and tell our loved ones about that. Blah, blah, blah. And that's how it works. Very, very clever. It's been like that since I can remember, since my upbringing throughout the military years. My first 19 years on Earth were brought up in the military. Same thing. Nothing's changed. Same with what's going on now with the BBC. They're pushing this Sudan thing. Now there's a Sudan crisis, so expect more chit-chat about immigration. Expect more refugee chit-chat. Expect more genocide chit-chat. Dictator chit-chat, which means then vilifying people like Putin even more, even though we all know, or those of us that know should certainly know, that he's a handled puppet. They all are. They're all given scripts to play out. I've said it before and I say it again, and I know this because the chief whip told me this in Parliament when I went down there many years ago when I was studying politics. They don't even get to choose what colour tie to wear in front of the camera, these guys. What is there not to understand about that? Right? So please always bear that in mind. Don't give them the validation by worrying about what the hell they're talking about. We need to be looking out the window, not at our phones. Seriously, if I want to know if it's raining, I'll look out the window. I won't check my phone. I'm just using a phone as an example. So we've got the Sudan stuff that's being pushed now from the BBC and all that. So just as an example of the repetitiveness of narratives that I alluded to a few weeks ago on a narratives news segment that I did, right, whereby I was explaining that, well, I'm 50, for example, and of a certain age, you remember back to how the narratives were identical. So we're talking racial tensions, we're talking pandemics of some sort, we're talking wars of some sort, economic collapses, of course, royal weddings, royal funerals, whatever, of course, always the same stuff. And now we have Sudan yet again. If you believe it, not only are you a mug, but you're a danger to everybody else, because you buying into it is what keeps it going. People really need to get that in their heads. It's the same as what happened the last 3 years. By complying, you kept it going. Simple, really. Anyway, right, I shan't digress, although tempting as it is. I'm just looking at my notes to see if there was anything else that might be worth bringing to you necessarily, but no, there isn't, and I've reached 10 minutes, so I think that's enough for you to listen to my voice. You know, Larry is happy as, of course, hence his name, which makes me happy. I keep saying this, but it's true. You know, so those little things, isn't it? But anyway, thank you to all you lot for tuning into my YouTube channel and having a look at this video. And those of you who haven't and see this at a later date, whatever, or see it on a different platform, thank you very much. I am going to try, I've said this before, but I really am going to try and make it a bit more of a regular thing. I want to try and do it weekly if I can. You know, I still haven't found a place to live, by the way, just in case a couple of you were wondering, because it's an ongoing theme at the moment. But, and I'm not doing this because I think everything's been worked out, but I do have a viewing tomorrow. So there are bits and bobs that are shifting a little bit. It might not work out tomorrow, but that's the first viewing I've had in weeks. Not through the lack of trying, by the way, or even the want of trying. You know, it's all messed up, I'm afraid. Jungle out there. All right. So on this note, I'm pretty sure if I listen to this video back, it's going to sound a bit all over the place, but I don't care really, because the most important bits I've brought to light, and that's the main thing. That's all that matters. But Larry is happy. I've mentioned that bit. Makes me happy. I've mentioned that bit. I will get back to you with a video after the Flat Earth meetup, not straight afterwards, but during the course of this week, just to recap on it. I will do that. Expect maybe a few photos, maybe even a bit of footage from tomorrow evening, perhaps. We'll see. But it should be interesting. And otherwise, in the meantime, yeah, like I said earlier, please do get in touch with me if you feel like getting involved. I've been in touch with one or two people who have other initiatives going on. And yeah, if we do this right, I think we could have a cracking event. A cracking event, really. Because it's not us against them. It's not, everybody has been affected by this, without exception. All right. So on this note, I will see you all soon. Some of you sooner. From Larry and from myself. Until then, take it easy. And ta-ta for now. Bye-bye.